Okay, today we're going to be looking at a tasty selection of licks from the Eagles classic, Take It Easy, written by Jackson Browne. And the solo has a number of really great individual licks that you can take and learn and move to other songs. The point of my lessons, again, if those of you that have been here before, is to understand the licks, understand why they're played at that point in the song, so that you can take them, you can transpose them to different keys, you can play them in different songs, you can actually learn from them instead of just spit them back out. And this song is a perfect example of that, because if you're at a jam session and you're like, I know the solo note for Take It Easy, and everybody else is there that says, I don't want to play that song, I've heard it so many times on the radio, I'm tired of it, then you're kind of stuck, right? But if they play one of the 10 bazillion other rock, pop, country songs that have a G chord going to a D chord, and you're improvising and you whip out that lick, they're going to be like, wow, that sounds familiar. That's really cool. That guy just repurposed that lick, if they can even put it together what you just did. So that's kind of what this is about. That's what I'm trying to show you how to do here, is to actually get a toolkit, get an arsenal of licks that you can play in a variety of circumstances. Okay, so that first lick, what does it look like? It looks like a G chord, right? Take your F shape from the first fret, move it up to the third fret, slide into it. Third string to second string. Some people let that first string ring out. I like to. Whether it's exact how he plays it on the record, you can listen and determine for yourself, but I like to. Could not be easier. It's very similar to a Steve Earle lick I showed you in another lesson. It's very similar to a bazillion other licks in bluegrass, country, and pop. We're in a major key here. We're playing a lot of double stops. Just think of double stops as two-note chords, right? It's two adjacent strings played together. Hammer on that 5th fret second string. Pull off from 4 to 2 on your 3rd string. And then let go to open. Come back, slide into it again. Important thing here, when you're sliding off, you're only letting go of your middle finger, you're letting your index finger stay fretted at the 1st fret C note on the 2nd string. Because you're going to play a double stop with the 3rd and 2nd strings, G note, C note, and hammering off that 4th string, 2nd fret, E note. What does that look like? Oh, it looks like a C major chord. What do you think the chord progression is over at that point? Yep, C major chord, okay? So you're in a G major. Think about this. Doesn't have to be the song Take It Easy, right? It can be any of the millions and millions and millions of songs with a G major chord, and you want a solo over it, you can go of the million variations of that. And it goes to a C chord, you can slide off into a C chord and hammer on the E note there a little bit. Okay, and then the next lick goes from a G to a D. Here's your G, here's your D, right? You know your bar chords. 10th fret, D chord. So we're going from G to D. It's the same lick essentially, sliding in. Exact same lick played over this fret versus this fret. Only difference is the last note in the lick is fretted here because we don't have an open string, of course, when we're way up here at the 10th fret. So that's sliding into 11, 10, 11, 9, 7. So play that over, practice that over a G to a D. If you're at a jam session and the song is not in G, it's in A major, what are you going to do? You can go... Alright, just move it up 2 frets from here, here to here, here. You get the idea. Okay, so from here the rest of the solo is going to be between the 5th and the 12th frets. We're up here now at the 7th fret, G chord position. We've gone from a F shape of a G chord down here to a D shape of a G chord, which is up here. 2nd string root, 8th fret G note. So this is your box up here. And he goes... Okay, that's the next series of licks. I know that was a lot. I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, so when you have a D shape chord, like we do here, country, rock, pop, especially country, you have these pedal steel bends, which I've shown you in a wide variety of lessons. And what it means is you anchor one note, in this case the D note at the 10th fret, 1st string, while bending an adjacent string note, in this case the A note at the 2nd string 10th fret. You're bending it up a whole step to a B note, 12th fret, 2nd string, and then resolving to the root. So essentially what you get is a G major triad, right? Root, bent note to a B note, which is the major 3rd, anchoring the D note, which is the 5th. So GBD, right? D, B, G. So he kind of riffs back and forth. At this point in the solo, he only does the bend, he doesn't do the anchor, he does that later. But I just wanted to show it to you here, because the funny thing is, it's the exact same lick that we played down here. We have D, B, G. Can you hear how that's the exact same notes? So this is what I want you to start thinking about, is seeing connections. So we have the connection here. We have D, B, G, and D, B, G. In the solo itself, again, he goes... And when he releases it that last time, he immediately slides it up to the 12th fret, 1st and 2nd strings. This is a double stop over an E minor chord. Right? E minor chord. The octave of an E minor chord, and then he just riffs back and forth. That was a little rough, but you get the idea. Back and forth, 10th fret, 1st and 2nd string to 12th fret, 1st and 2nd strings. This is another pedal steel bend. This one over a D chord. you should know this shape too. So we have a D chord, our A shape up here at the 5th and 7th strings. So the root note is the D, and like I just showed you with the pedal steel bend over a G chord, in a major key you always want that pedal steel bend to resolve to the 1 of the chord you're playing. Okay, so when we're over a G chord, it resolves to the G note. The chord progression is shifted in the solo to a D, and we go, what's this note? It's a D note, 7th fret, 3rd string, part of a D chord. So he's anchoring that 10th fret, 2nd string, A note, bending the 9th fret, 3rd string, resolving to the 7th fret, 3rd string, D note. So these are the two shapes you should know. Over a D-shaped chord, you're playing at the 1st and 2nd string. Over an A-shaped chord, you're playing it on the 2nd and 3rd strings. So you should then be able to do that all over the neck. I showed you this in one of my very first lessons like 10 years ago, Give Me 3 Steps, the classic Leonard Skinner solo. That's all it is doing those bends, wailing on them over and over and over again. So you should know these licks and you should pick them up and be able to move them around. Let's say you're over a C chord. Find the D shape of a C chord. It's up here, the 12th and 13th fret. The 13th fret is the root. Okay, find the A shape of a C chord. It's here at the 5th fret, right? So play around with these, move these around. This is basically what the rest of the Take It Easy solo is. He wails on that one. He does one over an A minor chord, which is same as a C major chord, which we've talked about in many other lessons, the concept of the relative minor I won't get into right here, but your A minor and your C would have the same licks, essentially. And then the solo ends on that same G to a D chord. Got maybe a little out of tune with all these pedal steel bends. So it's that same one, and then ending with a D note up there at the 15th fret. That's probably enough for today to keep you busy for a while. Play around with those pedal steel licks. Play around with the, which again is the same as. It's really cool when it all starts making sense, isn't it? I hope you think so too. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.